The voice comes from nowhere, from everywhere. A single word that cuts through the applause like a knife. Dad. The studio falls silent. Tom Hanks stops mid-sentence. His face goes pale. His hands grip the arms of his chair so hard his knuckles turn white. He looks toward the balcony. Oprah follows his gaze. For 100 people crane their necks upward, and there, standing at the railing of the upper level, is a man. 53 years old. Gray hair. Weathered face. Eyes that hold something between rage and grief. He is holding a microphone he should not have. A microphone someone must have given him. A microphone that amplifies his next words into every corner of the studio. You left me, he says. His voice is steady, but beneath, it is a tremor of 40 years of pain. You walked out when I was 13 years old. You started a new family, a new life, and you never looked back. Tom Hanks does not move. He does not speak. He just stares at this man in the balcony. This stranger who is not a stranger at all. Oprah looks between them. She sees something in Tom's face she has never seen before. Fear. Not the performative fear of an actor. Real fear. The fear of a man whose past has just walked into the present. Who is he, Tom? Oprah asks quietly. Tom swallows hard. His voice, when it comes, is barely a whisper. He is my son. The studio erupts. Gasps. Murmurs. The sound of 400 people trying to process something impossible. Because Tom Hanks has 4 children. Everyone knows this. Colin, Elizabeth, Chet, Truman, for children from 2 marriages. But this man in the balcony is not one of them. This man is someone else. Someone the world has never heard of. Someone who has been waiting 40 years to be seen. How we get here? Rewind 114 minutes. The morning had begun with celebration. Today's show was a special tribute to Tom Hanks. A career retrospective. 40 years in Hollywood. 4 Academy Award nominations. 2 wins. Dozens of beloved films that had shaped American culture. Splash. Big. Forrest Gump. Saving Private Ryan. Castaway. The list went on and on. It was supposed to be a celebration of one of the most beloved actors in the world. Oprah had prepared clips. She had prepared questions. She had prepared surprises from friends and colleagues. Everything was meticulously planned, except for the man who bought a balcony ticket using a name that meant nothing to the security team. Michael Roberts, the name on his driver's license. The name his mother gave him after she remarried. Not the name he was born with. Not the name that connected him to the man on stage. Michael had been planning this moment for 3 years. Ever since he retired from his job as an electrician. Ever since his wife passed away. Ever since his own children asked him about their grandfather and he had nothing to tell them. He had written letters. They were returned unopened. He had called offices. They hung up. He had tried every legitimate channel. None of them worked. So he bought a ticket to the Oprah Winfrey Show. He wore a plain suit. He acted like any other fan. He made it through security without incident. And he waited for the perfect moment. For the moment when the whole world would be watching. For the moment when his father could not look away. Subscribe and leave a comment because the most powerful part of this story is still ahead. When Michael spoke that word from the balcony, when he said Dad, Tom Hanks felt his entire world shift. He had built a career playing decent men, honorable men, men who did the right thing even when it was hard. And now, in front of 400 people and however many millions would eventually watch, his own son was revealing that Tom Hanks was not always that man. That there was a time, long ago, when he had been something else entirely. Security was already moving toward the balcony. 2 guards approaching from each side. But Oprah raised her hand. Wait, she said. The guard stopped. The producers were frantic in her earpiece. Oprah ignored them. She looked at Tom. She looked at the man in the balcony. And she made a decision that would define this episode forever. Bring him down here, she said. Bring him to the stage. Tom's head snapped toward her. Oprah, he said. His voice was tight with warning. You do not know what you are doing. No, she said. I do not. But I think the audience deserves to understand what is happening. And I think you owe this man a conversation. Tom's jaw clenched. He looked like he wanted to argue. But he knew better. He had been in show business for 40 years. He knew that the camera was rolling. He knew that everything he did right now would be scrutinized by millions. And he knew that refusing to face his own son would destroy everything he had built. Fine, he said. Bring him down. The guards escorted Michael from the balcony, down the stairs, through the side door, onto the stage. He walked slowly. His suit was rumpled. His shoes were scuffed. He looked nothing like the polished celebrities who usually appeared on this stage. He looked like exactly what he was. An ordinary man. A discarded man. A forgotten man. He stopped in front of Tom Hanks. They faced each other. Father and son. 40 years of silence between them. Oprah watched. The audience watched. The cameras watched. And no one knew what would happen next. Behind the scenes, Oprah made a decision that defied every producer's expectation. She stood up. She walked to Michael. She took his hand and led him to the chair beside Tom. They sat in a triangle now. Tom on one side, Michael on the other, Oprah in the middle. I want to understand what is happening here, Oprah said. Her voice was calm but firm. Michael, you said Tom left when you were 13. Tom, I need to hear your side of this. The world knows you as one of the most decent men in Hollywood. Help us understand. Tom was silent for a long moment. His face was a mask, but beneath it, something was cracking. It was 1971, he finally said. His voice was barely audible. I was 15 years old. I got a girl pregnant. Her name was Carol. We were children. We did not know what we were doing. He looked at his hands. When Michael was born, I tried, he said. For 13 years, I tried to be a father. But I was young. I was ambitious. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to get out of that small town. I wanted a life that did not include a teenage mistake. Michael flinched at the word mistake. Tom saw it. He closed his eyes. That is what I called you, he said. In my own head. For years. My mistake. Because it was easier to think of you that way than to face what I had done. He opened his eyes. When I left, I told myself it was the right thing, he said. I told myself you would be better off without me. That Carol would find someone else. Someone who wanted to be there. Someone who could give you a real family. He shook his head. But the truth is I was a coward. I was selfish. I chose my dreams over my son. And I have lived with that choice every day since. This is the moment no one in the studio and no one watching at home ever saw coming. Michael spoke. His voice was steady, but his hands were shaking. Do you know what it was like? He asked. Growing up knowing my father did not want me? Tom did not answer. I watched your movies, Michael continued. All of them. I watched you play fathers. Good fathers. Fathers who showed up. Fathers who sacrificed everything for their children. He laughed bitterly. Forrest Gump running across the country for years, he said. But you could not drive 3 hours to see your own son. Tom flinched. I saw you in Saving Private Ryan, Michael continued, telling those soldiers that earning their survival meant living lives worthy of their sacrifice. What about my sacrifice? What about the life I lived wondering why I was not worth fighting for? He was crying now. I watched Castaway, he said, for years on an island, and you never gave up trying to get home. But you gave up on me after 13 years. You gave up, and you never tried to come back. He wiped his eyes roughly. I'm not here for money, he said. I'm not here for fame. I'm not here to destroy your career. He leaned forward. I am here because I'm 53 years old, he said, and I have never once heard my father say he was sorry. I have never once heard him say he regretted leaving. I have never once heard him say he loved me. He looked at Tom. I am dying, he said. The studio gasped. Cancer, Michael said. Stage 4. The doctors have given me maybe 6 months. Maybe less. He spread his hands. So I figured I had nothing left to lose, he said. I figured if I was going to die anyway, I might as well die knowing the truth. I might as well die having said what I needed to say. I might as well die looking my father in the eyes and asking him one question. He paused. Why? Tom sat frozen. The word hung in the air. Why? The simplest question. The hardest to answer. Share and subscribe. Make sure this story is never forgotten. Tom was silent for a long time. The cameras kept rolling. The audience held its breath. Oprah did not prompt him. She knew that some silences needed to exist. Some silences were the only honest response. Finally, Tom spoke. I do not have a good answer, he said. His voice was broken. I do not have an excuse. I do not have a justification. He looked at Michael. I was young and selfish and scared, he said. I wanted to be somebody, and being your father felt like an anchor. It felt like something that would hold me back. He shook his head. So I convinced myself that leaving was mercy, that you would be better off, that Carol would find someone who wanted to be there in a way I never did. He paused. But the truth is simpler and uglier than that, he said. The truth is I left because I wanted to, because my dreams mattered more to me than my son, because I was willing to sacrifice you for my ambition. He was crying now too, and I have hated myself for it every day since, he said. Every award I have won, every speech I have given, every time I played a good man on screen, I have known the truth, that I am not that man, that I have never been that man, that I abandoned my first child because being a father was inconvenient. He reached out toward Michael. I am sorry, he said. Those words are 40 years too late. They do not fix anything. They do not give you back your childhood. They do not heal the wound I created. His hand hovered in the air between them. But I am sorry, he said again. I am sorry for leaving. I am sorry for not coming back. I am sorry for letting you grow up believing you were a mistake when the truth is you're the only real thing I had ever created. Everything else, the movies, the awards, the fame, it is all pretend. You were real. And I threw you away. Michael stared at his father's hand. He did not take it. Not yet. Do you know what the worst part was? Michael asked. Tom shook his head. The worst part was not knowing, Michael said. Not knowing if you thought about me. Not knowing if you ever regretted it. Not knowing if I mattered at all. He paused. I used to dream that you would show up, he said. On my birthday. At my graduation. At my wedding. I used to imagine that you were watching from somewhere. That you cared, but you could not come for some reason. He laughed sadly. But you were not watching, he said. You were just gone. Living your life. Having more children. Children you kept. Children you raised. Children you loved. He looked at Tom. Why them and not me? He asked. What made them worth staying for when I was not? Tom's face crumbled. Nothing, he said. Nothing made them different. I was different. By the time Colin was born, I had grown up enough to understand what I had done. I had become capable of being a father. But by then you were already gone. Already living a life without me. And I was too ashamed to try to come back. He shook his head. Shame is a terrible excuse, he said. But it is the truth. I was ashamed. I knew what I had done was unforgivable. And I convinced myself that showing up after all those years would only make things worse. Would only confuse you. Would only hurt you more. He looked at his hands. I told myself I was protecting you by staying away, he said. But I was just protecting myself. From having to face what I had done. From having to look you in the eyes and see the damage I caused. He finally looked up. I see it now, he said. And I am so sorry, Michael. I am so sorry. The studio was silent. No one moved. No one breathed. And then Michael reached out. He took his father's hand. I have been angry for 40 years, he said. I have spent my whole life carrying this weight. This wondering. This hurt. He squeezed Tom's hand. I do not have time to be angry anymore, he said. I have 6 months. Maybe less. And I do not want to spend them hating you. He looked at Tom. I came here to confront you, he said. To make you face what you did. To hear you apologize. And I heard it. He paused. Now I want to know if there is something else, he said. Something beyond the apology. Something that looks like the start of something instead of just the end. He leaned forward. Can you be my father for 6 months? He asked. Can you show up now, at the end, even though you could not show up at the beginning? Tom was weeping openly. Yes, he said. His voice was raw. Yes, I can. I will. Whatever you need. However long you have. I will be there. He gripped Michael's hand with both of his. I know it is not enough, he said. I know 40 years cannot be fixed in 6 months. But I will try. For however long you have. I will try to be the father I should have been. Michael nodded. That is all I wanted, he said. That is all I came here for. He smiled slightly. Well, and to see the look on your face when I said Dad from the balcony, he said. Tom laughed through his tears. You got me, he said. You definitely got me. The audience laughed too. A release of tension. A moment of levity in the midst of so much pain. Oprah watched them both. She saw something happening. Something fragile but real. The beginning of something. The start of a repair that would never be complete but might still matter. The episode ended differently than any before it. Oprah did not wrap up with her usual summary. She simply let the moment exist. Tom and Michael sitting together, hands still joined. 40 years of silence beginning to crack. She turned to the camera. I have done thousands of interviews, she said. I have witnessed thousands of moments, but I have never witnessed anything quite like this. She paused. What happened here today was not planned, she said. It was messy and painful and raw, but it was also real. And I think real is what we need more of. She looked at Tom and Michael. These two men have been given something, she said. A second chance. A beginning where there should have been an ending. And whether they have 6 months or 6 years or 6 decades, they have a choice to make. They can use that time to heal, or they can waste it on blame. She smiled slightly. I think I know which one they will choose. The cameras faded out, but the story was just beginning. Tom Hanks kept his promise. For the next 7 months, he was present in Michael's life in a way he had never been before. He flew to Wisconsin, where Michael lived. He met Michael's children, his grandchildren he had never known. He sat by Michael's bedside during chemotherapy. He held his hand during the worst nights. He showed up, finally, 40 years late, but he showed up. Michael lived longer than the doctors predicted, 9 months instead of 6. And when he finally passed, Tom was there, holding his hand, telling him he loved him, telling him he was sorry one more time. Michael smiled as he died. He said one word, Dad, and then he was gone. Tom Hanks has spoken about that day many times since. He does not talk about it like a tragedy. He talks about it like a gift. I got 9 months with my son, he says. 9 months I did not deserve. 9 months that could have been 40 years if I had not been such a coward. He pauses when he says this. I cannot get those 40 years back, he says, but I got 9 months, and I made them count. He established a foundation in Michael's name. The Michael Roberts Foundation for Estranged Families. It provides counseling, mediation, and reunification services for parents and children separated by abandonment. It has helped over 12,000 families reconnect. Tom serves on the board personally. He speaks at events. He shares his story, not the Hollywood story, the real one, the one that includes his greatest failure and his final redemption. Oprah keeps a photograph in her office. It was taken during one of Michael's final days. It shows Tom and Michael sitting together on a porch. They are both smiling. Their hands are clasped together. They look like a father and son. Beneath the photograph is a plaque that reads, It is never too late to show up. Never too late to say sorry. Never too late to start. There is one final detail that most people do not know. When Michael died, he was holding 2 things. His father's hand and a letter. A letter Tom had written him the night before. It said everything he wished he had said 40 years earlier. All the I love yous, all the I am prouds, all the I am sorries, all compressed into 3 pages. Michael read it 17 times before he died. Each time he read it, he smiled. The letter is now framed in Tom's home. Beside it is the original microphone Michael used to speak from the balcony. The microphone that changed everything. The microphone that gave a dying man the chance to confront his father. The microphone that gave a guilty man the chance to repent. The microphone that proves some stories do not end with abandonment. Some end with reunion. Some end with healing. Some end with a single word shouted from a balcony. Dad. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss another story like this. Because there are more reunions waiting to happen. More confrontations waiting to transform into reconciliations. More fathers and sons waiting to find each other. And somewhere out there, someone is deciding whether to reach out, whether to speak up, whether to give the person who hurt them one more chance. Maybe it is you. Maybe it is time. Maybe today is the day you shout from the balcony. And see what happens next.